you realize, folks, that this guy Mike Gallagher is going to retire early in Wisconsin? Just like this real head case buck out of Colorado has stepped down, and really thank God he has. But anyway, you understand that the Republicans have a one-vote majority in the House now? They expelled this guy Santos, who was a reprobate. But why would you expel him when in the Democrat side, Menendez is hanging on by his fingernails? Has been charged with all kinds of crimes. I mean, real crimes. You know, it's not like the Trump stuff where they're looking for crimes. I mean, real stuff. Gold bars in his jacket, you know. Wiretaps, I guess, with the Egyptian government. That sort of stuff. So there's no hue and cry in the Senate among the Democrats to get rid of Menendez. No hue and cry among the Democrat Party propagandists and Hamas wing of the media. Nothing. Nothing. So the Republicans boot this guy Santos. Then Buck steps down. Now Gallagher's stepping down. One other guy stepped down. Now they got a one-vote majority. One. I don't even know what to say anymore. And with a one-vote majority, Green, what is her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene. Nice person. I've met her. She's been on the show with her book. She decides to take a step to remove the Speaker of the House. I am no fan of this deal that's been negotiated, period. If I were voting, I'd vote against it. I'd do everything I could to kill it. But ladies and gentlemen, the problem isn't a speaker. The problem is they don't have the votes. I don't know what Marjorie Taylor Greene or the others are doing to raise funds to elect more conservatives, whether in primaries or generally. Probably little to nothing. You have a one-vote majority. That's it. I'd say at least 30% of the Republicans in the House are so-called centrists or center-right. They're not us. And so it boggles my mind. What is this? What are they doing? You're going to remove the Speaker and replace the Speaker with whom? What are you going to replace the Speaker with? Who? Who is it exactly? You're not going to get who you want, whomever that is. Even the director, the chairman of the Freedom Caucus said, what the hell is this? We reject this budget too. It's a horrible budget, but we're going to just keep doing the off with their heads thing? I mean, how long is this going to go on for? I don't know. You might recall I was the one who stood among the radio pygmies, the midgets, the dwarfs, and said, why are we removing Kevin McCarthy, who proposed the most conservative border plan, the most conservative budget plan in modern legislative history? Why are we removing that guy? And so here we are. And so people may feel it's really good. It's gestalt, you know, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, I'm going to file this, I'm going to file. You're not doing crap. If somebody came out today, and not one of them did, and said, you know what? I'm going to spend my time not just on my reelection, but making sure that conservatives are elected in these states and so forth, so we have a buffer, we have a bigger majority, we can stop this. Not one of them said that. Not one of the so-called conservatives. They beat their chest. They pat themselves on the back. They say the country's going to hell. We know all this. We know all this. You're a congressman. You're a congressman. Now, if you can't literally do anything about it right now, and here's the deal. They're in a position where they really can't. They have a one-vote majority in the House, and about a third of the Republicans in the House are wimps. What are you going to do, turn to the Democrats? Then they should get the hell out of Washington and help elect conservatives. That's what they should do. Instead of running on TV and radio and beating their chests. How many more speakers are you going to go through? How many? So count me out on this. I'm sure the radio groups out there, well, groupies, factions, I think it's a great idea because they think that's what you want to hear. I tell you what I know. I don't know what you want to hear or you don't want to hear. I always assume you want to hear the truth, or at least my view of what's going on. My view of what's going on is I don't know what these guys are doing. They make you think that by taking out the speaker that they're actually doing something. Well, did they do something last time? No. So what are they doing now? Nothing. It's drama time again. We're losing our country. Well, there's not enough being done with the border. So impeach his ass, the guy in the White House. That's what you do. Well, we might lose that. So what? At least you'll focus the nation on an issue the Democrats don't even want to talk about. They're running from it. It's the second most important issue to the voters, right behind the economy. In numbers we've never seen before. He should be impeached for every action he's taken in violation of the law and the Constitution. I don't care what Jamie Raskin says. He's a head case. I don't care what Joe Scarborough says. He's an ignoramus. Who cares? So rather than focusing all their might on Biden, they're going to take out their speaker and achieve what? Exactly what? I want to know. I want to know. Where do you go from there? Nowhere. Nowhere. Now you'll have these Lilliputians, these guys that have they're sitting at their computer. Let me write this column. Let me look good here. Can I get this placed over here? Here's my end. Who cares? These people aren't the purists. They're not the constitutional conservatives. In many ways, they're self-promoters. You have to have a strategy. What are you going to do? You're going to have votes on the speaker. He's not going to be removed. You got a one-vote majority. You actually risk Hakeem Jeffries becoming speaker. All you need is one of these nudniks out of the one-third to say, you know what, I've had enough of these, these Marjorie Taylor Greene types. I'm voting with the Democrats. And maybe it's their swan song, and then I'm going to retire. I call these people boneheads because they never have a strategy. And they make the entire House Republicans look stupid. It's like funding Israel. We've got guys on this Rules Committee who won't do anything except what they demand in order to allow a vote to come out of the Rules Committee. Very earnest. Very earnest. We don't secure the border. If we don't start slashing the budget, we're not bringing it out. We want to bring it out. We've told the speaker there's a way we can do this, but they can't do it. They don't do it. They tell me this all the time. I've told the speaker this is what we really need to do, but you don't have the votes. You're not supported. You're not supported. You don't have the votes. And so we actually have a condition today, just as one little example, where Joe Biden is slow-walking munitions to Israel, which is really quite sickening, immoral, unconscionable. He's an anti-Semite, and so is his party. And I'm not going to back off from that. You have to be deaf, dumb, and blind not to see it, and hear it, and all the rest of it. And then we have a couple of guys in the Rules Committee. We want to fund Israel, but we have to do it the right way. So you literally have now a couple of guys in the House Rules Committee and Joe Biden preventing the funding of Israel. That is, preventing the building of weapons that we then provide Israel to defend itself. Now, this is really fascinating to me. Stick with me. So what's the consequence of that? The consequence is this. Joe Biden is funneling hundreds of billions of dollars into Iran by taking our foot off their throat, lifting the sanctions, allowing them to sell oil to whom? The communist Chinese, who need their oil. He's paid $20 billion in the last 6 months to the Iranians by allowing the Iraqis to sell electricity to the Iranians. He paid $6 billion in ransom for hostages to the Iranians. That's $26 billion, not even including the oil money. And Israel's sitting there begging for $14 billion. But don't worry, say the purists. They're not pure. They're stupid. They're in a box. And they say, we're not going to help. So Iran's getting money. Hamas is getting money. Hezbollah's getting money. The Houthis are getting money. And Israel, tiny little Israel, has to stand up for the entire West, all of Western civilization and the United States. And Biden's slow walking them ammunitions. And I'll tell you why in a minute. And I've told you why over and over. And a couple of boneheads won't allow a proper vote on the money for Israel. And now the Democrats have turned on Israel. These so-called conservatives say they love Israel, but we have process and administrative issues. Completely missing the big picture. And here we are. Iran is swimming in money. The terrorists are swimming in money. Israel's desperate for weapons. The Republicans have no strategy, particularly the self-appointed purists who are not constitutional conservatives. Some are, most aren't. And the Democrat Party is full open, out of the closet, pro-Hamas, pro-Iran, anti-Israel, anti-Israel's government, and anti-Israel destroying Hamas. And now we're going to remove the speaker. And then what? Nothing. He won't be removed. The American people are going to lash out against the Republicans if this keeps up. They're going to lash out against the Republicans. They're going to lash out against their inability to actually get some things done. And they're going to lash out at this shenanigans, this bizarre headbanging when it comes to their speakers. I would fight the spending bill. I would vote against this spending bill. I would make it clear to some of the Republicans who voted for it that you will campaign against them in a primary, although many of these conservatives didn't take the opportunity to actually campaign against the rhinos in the primaries. They're all talk. They're no action. They got the Robert's Rules of Procedures down. They can block anything they want pretty much, but they can't do anything. They can't do anything.